Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Razovy, and today you're watching the Razovy Revived channel. We're going to talk about Tokyo Ghoul because it is actually the Halloween month, and I want to start off with Tokyo Ghoul because I really feel like that's a Halloween vibe type of anime. I'm not sure if you can truly define it as horror. I'm not sure. I guess you can. I mean, if you look on any list, right, or my anime list, it does say that it's also the horror genre tag is on there, so I felt like it was very applicable to the Halloween month on the Razovy Revived channel. Now, I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. By the way, since you're watching the Razovy Revived channel, keep in mind that the things that you see on the screen, they aren't all that important, so feel free to go do something else and just listen to what I'm saying instead of just watching these moving GIFs all the time, because I can imagine that that's pretty boring, and it's the story that I'm going to tell you that is way more important than anything that you will find on screen. So without further ado, we're 1 minute in, let's get started with Tokyo Ghoul. Now, Tokyo Ghoul is actually, it's kind of like horror, dark, fantasy, something of the sort, and it's about this guy called Kaneki, Ken Kaneki. And he's just a normal guy, lives in Tokyo, and he in the first episode, he's going to hang out with a friend of his, and something that you need to know about the universe that Ken Kaneki is in is that there are these things called ghouls. And the ghouls, right, at least when I think of ghouls, right, is these horrible creatures that are completely deformed and are very dangerous and that kind of stuff, right? But in this universe, ghouls look exactly like human beings. The only difference is that a human being is able to eat normal food, right? A ghoul is only able to eat human beings. So they only are able to sustain themselves by eating humans. So, and that's the whole deal, right? That is why people in the Tokyo Ghoul universe are so afraid of ghouls, because, if you walk around at night alone, you might get attacked by a ghoul or something. So in this universe, Ken Kaneki, and his friend, they are just sitting in a cafe, and then Kaneki is he's not approached, but he is kind of swayed by a very attractive girl, and they start talking, and they actually go on a date, and he cannot believe the fact that such a beautiful girl actually is interested in him. They go on a date, everything is fun, and then the date is almost over, and something kind of odd is happening. Like she's starting to act a little weird, but everything is still fine. And then all of a sudden she takes a bite out of his shoulder, like a huge bite out of his shoulder, because it turns out that this girl is a ghoul. So he knows that he's going to die, because he doesn't have the strength to fight her, because not only are ghouls do they eat humans, but they're also way stronger than humans. So they truly pose quite a threat. And so she starts to kind of devour him, right? But then all of a sudden, like construction material falls from the sky. Pure coincidence. It falls from the sky and crushes both the girl, the ghoul, right, and Kaneki. Turns out, though, that the girl passed away. She died, the ghoul. But Kaneki survived. And the problem is, some of his organs were punctured. So they actually decided to transfer the organs, or at least a couple of them, from the ghoul over to him, to Kaneki. Of course, these people didn't know she was a ghoul, right? They just transferred her organs that were still intact over to Kaneki in order to save him. But now they have a problem, or at least Kaneki has a problem, because he is now a half ghoul. He finds, this is all first episode, so I'm not spoiling anything. Truly, this is the first episode. So turns out that he's now half a ghoul. He is unable to eat human things, right? He's unable to eat normal food, and now has to survive on human meat. But he doesn't want to. In the first episode, we see that he really doesn't want to, but he has to, because he's starving and he's craving human meat. So he's now in a very awkward position where, yes, he's still a human being. He's not accepted by ghouls because he's just a half ghoul. But he's, if he would tell anyone about the fact that he's a ghoul, no human being would accept him either. So he's in a very awkward and horrible position. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything very important. In fact, I'm not going to spoil anything. It's just this is like first, second episode. But he meets these special type of ghouls. That yes, they eat human beings, of course, because that's the only way that they can survive. But they don't hunt them. So they only eat, for example, suicide victims, that kind of stuff. And it turns out that ghouls are only able to drink coffee and eat human beings. So they all gathered in a coffee shop basically, and the owner is also a ghoul of this coffee shop. And that's where they drink coffee and eat, basically eat dead humans, and who were all killed by like self-inflicted wounds or something, right? So suicide victims. And you would think that, oh wow, so he finally found his place, right? Everything as well. But like I said, this is like first and second episode. So way more is going to happen because Tokyo Ghoul, like the first season has 12 episodes. In my opinion, by the way, the first season is the best. I'm not sure if everyone agrees with that, but in my opinion, first season is absolutely amazing. So he's actually, eventually he will get involved in like this international crime syndicate with ghouls versus humans, and it's over the top, it's crazy. There are torture scenes as well, which truly, it's gut-wrenching when you see people being tortured. And that's also why this is such a great Halloween anime, because it goes far. Like it can go very far when it comes to the horror and psychological stuff. It's very bloody as well. And there's a lot of violence and blood and torture and difficult psychological decisions and depression. And so this is like, if we're talking about horror and if we're talking about just Halloween in general, I think this is the perfect anime to watch during the Halloween month, basically. And that's also why I decided to start with this one. Really, Tokyo Ghoul is one of the most popular anime of all time. I'm currently looking at the AniList AniList entry of Tokyo Ghoul. At this point in time, it's the number 8 of most popular of all time. So that says something about how much people like this anime. Now I have to be honest here. I like the first season. I like the sequel as well of Tokyo Ghoul. But to be honest, but again, I'm not sure if everyone will agree with this, but I don't like Tokyo Ghoul Re. Tokyo Ghoul Re is actually a kind of like a reimagining, or kind of like it's basically a time skip of Tokyo Ghoul. And I'm not really into that, but the Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 and Tokyo Ghoul Season 2 are definitely worth a watch. Like, if you haven't watched it yet, it is highly advisable that you do. Like, there's a reason why this is the most popular, or actually in the top 10 of most popular anime of all time. There's a reason for that. It's very, very good. In fact, this is one of the first anime that I ever watched. I think this is like in my top 10 of I think I watched this like 8th or something. So it's special to me as well, but it's very, very good. Really, Tokyo Ghoul Season 1 and Season 2 and the OVAs are definitely worth a try. And hell, if you don't like it, watch the first 2 episodes. If after that you still don't like it, drop it. That's perfectly fine. But especially when it comes to Halloween, it's worth it. Definitely. This is something that you should watch during this season, during this part of the year. Absolutely 100%. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this first Halloween episode of the Razovy Revived channel. If you did, make sure to like this video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. Ladies and gentlemen, I was Razovy, you were you, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye.